I could sit around and write some deep shit about all the people who hurt me and left emotional scars and all that. Because let me tell you, there's a lot. But I'm afraid it's not that easy. So let me tell you guys about a few other scars. I've been through a lot. I've been hit by multiple cars, chased and sprinted through thorn bushes, jumped out of and off of cars, stabbed, fallen through bushes, jumped off of cliffs, and had my share of fights, none of which I provoked, of course. Our family grew up as some would describe as adrenaline junkies, which to us was just another word for being fun and crazy as hell. So we were just sort of prone to injury, and after a while you just get used to something happening. But we always looked at injuries as minor setbacks till we could get back to being our crazy selves. So believe me, the last thing any of us wanted was a hospital where we'd have to hear some bullshit about not being able to dirt bike or rock climb or something like that again. But anyway, all of those left scars and left me with pretty good stories that are easy to find humor in most of. That was kind of a lot to take in, so I'll start with the basics. With the first scar when I was 6 years old. I don't know how I still remember it. I guess it's just one of those traumatic things that happen when you're a kid that just kind of stick. I'll start from the beginning. As a kid, I always loved nature and would spend most of my time in the river or the woods. So one day I was wandering around thinking I'm Tarzan and see a massive dog in the woods. So imagine a young boy who loved every animal and thought he was Tarzan seeing a dog in the woods. I thought I was set, and I found my sidekick to patrol the forest with me. So I immediately sprint over to him, and he doesn't move a muscle. I start petting him and still no movement from this beast. Then I sit down on his level with him and start admiring how strong he is. And within 1 second, our eyes meet, and I guess the animal instincts came out, which was probably a super confusing situation for this dog because a tiny half-naked human is touching him. And he snapped at my face. It happened. I felt his razor-sharp teeth tearing through my skin. Beneath my eye, there was now a huge gash on my face and flesh hanging down from my face to my chin. I stood there in shock, staring into the eyes of this snarling beast. I calmly and collectively walking through the woods, barefoot, only feeling the warm, thick blood drip down the rest of my body. Too nervous to actually look down and see the massive amounts of blood overtaking the color of my body. I only had one eye. The other had been swelled shut, only leaving the sensation of warm pus and blood squeezing my eye closed without any control. Once I got home, the panic really kicked in, and I'll never forget my mother's face. You'd think she thought I was shot or missing a limb or something. But anyway, I obviously being a kid and seeing my mom in this stage we like to call gorilla on cocaine, where she just absolutely lose her mind. So obviously I start to flip my shit too. The screams echoing around the house of frantic parents really sets in the panic of a child, because once I saw their face and my face, there was nothing else I could think of but to cry. So finally, my dad, in a brilliant moment of parenting, finds the only man that is guaranteed to put anyone asleep to this day. This great man's name is none other than the infamous Jack Daniels. That worked like a charm because I was suddenly more in the mood to dance, then cry, and then dance some more, which I've learned in high school that it pretty much works the same for everyone else. At some point in the night, I made it to a mirror to see the damage done, and I remember thinking it looked kinda cool. But as I took a closer look, there was actually a piece of the dog's tooth lodged in my cheekbone. So once I dug it out, that was about the time I passed out. When I woke up, my parents were standing over me, still freaking out about stitches and hospitals and things of that nature. But I was still in a bit of a daze, because I'm pretty sure I lost an unhealthy amount of blood, but who knows. So after being rudely awakened by my parents, who were still unnecessarily panic-stricken, I had assured them that I was fine and just wanted to get back to sleep. But while I was sleeping, my uncle, who was a Navy SEAL, came over to put stitches in my face. And then when I woke up, that was just about the end of it. I was left with a huge scar across my face, but over the years it had become less and less noticeable. As the damaged skin began to heal, I was able to look back at this story and laugh, just like I'm sure all of you guys can do when you look back at the stories of your scars. The message from my madness is that you can have truly grueling events pop up and leave you in need of repair, often in many different ways. However, scars will fade, wounds will heal, and all of these stories and memories you're left with will make you who you are. All the little imperfections you're left with, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, or anything else, these are the things that make us human and that others will grow to love, even if you have absolutely no idea why. Basically, the experiences that leave you with scars, stories, love, and just crazy memories is what makes life worth living.